Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2, The Legacy of the Void. Today, it's going to be a match between Reynor and Clem here on Hardwire, the latter edition. Top right, Reynor, bottom left, Clem. You know these kids more than you know yourself at this point. Got this replay from Wardy. Had to cast a game between Reynor and Clem on Hardwire, which is an excellent map for macro games because there's a lot of places to expand. The map is fairly big. The expansions are big and a long way apart. And this Overlord is scouting for proxies, but Clem is going for a barracks inside his own main base. He feels like he can hang with Reynor in a macro game, which he has proved over the course of the last year. Man, Katowice is coming up. So we'll see how these two young players do. Reynor won Katowice last year. Maybe Clem will win it this year. But he has a tough row to hoe ahead of him in that regard. Anyway. Man, I just rewatched Rise of Skywalker. So, as a Patreon thing for the podcast, for those of you who support the Falcon Paladin Hour directly at patreon.com/Somicron, SOMICRON. Somicron and I rewatched The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker and kind of did our own director's commentary for it. It's not clever enough to be like riff tracks exactly, but that's kind of the concept, right? So you put on the movie and then you turn on our recording, our audio recording, and then you can hear us giving comments. It's like you're watching the movie with us, right? But man, first time watching Rise of Skywalker since I watched it in theaters, and just it was such a bad time in theaters. I didn't enjoy it hardly at all. It's just not, I don't know, it doesn't work for me on so many different levels. So that's where my headspace is right now. So I need to go watch some good stuff after casting this game and have a better time with it. I think it's going to have to be the concept of the rest of my evening. So Reaper is moving out because we saw it was a hatch first play. Reaper's name, this is one I've been dreading for a while. It is removing all the spaces. Let's see. Marth thought he was clever by removing all the spaces, but his writing was hard to read. Was sent to the Dominion's front line writing boot camp to write poems Zerg with guns. Yeah, it's a backstory for a Reaper called Removing All the Spaces, where all the spaces are removed from the backstory. And I think I got most of that. Let's see. Let's try that again. Boot camp to write poems on Zerg with guns. Oh, so he's got to write a poem about Zergs with guns. Well, that's an interesting concept if I've ever heard one. I have no idea how to even go about writing a poem about Zergs with guns. Doing math on stream is hard enough. I think writing poems might be more difficult than that, actually. But that's it, man. This dude's doing all right. He's got 0 kills, but he's keeping some pressure on Reynor, which is cool. Forcing Lings out on Reynor, which is also very nice. Third base coming in from Reynor. Where's the third base? There it is. Clem's third base coming in. Started that thing sub 3 minutes. Love it. Love it when that happens. I feel like Terran should do it all the time. I've never seen a gamer cast a game where this third base is punished in any sense. There's just not a whole lot the Zerg players can do these days to take it out and kill it and kill the Terran because of this fast third. So I don't know. I feel like Terran should do it every time. Anyway, run for it. Oh, he runs. KD8 charge saves his butt there. Hellion Friend saves his butt there as well. Go, removing all the spaces. The Reaper, you can do this. Take out your energy and anger on Cleaning Bot. Wait, don't do that. Don't do that. Cleaning Bot's just trying to clean things. Leave him alone. Some Lings. This is an interesting place for 4 Lings to go. I don't know what you can accomplish with 4 Lings there, but all right. Hellion's getting chased away by Queens, as is per usual, and I guess 4 Lings getting into this natural now? I mean, just for scouting purposes is pretty great. So, doesn't bother raising the supply depots, and these Lings don't get a whole lot done. So I don't know what that was for, actually. Like a run by past that Marine into the main base and seeing this third? Actually, he might have seen the third. Nope! He didn't see the third, so that was kind of a terrible scout, actually. Come on, Reynor. Come on, Reynor. Alright, Queen's firing away. Reaper still alive. Reaper still has 0 kills, but his Hellion buddies are here. Usually you don't get a Hellbat attack when the third base is this fast, and that's this case too. Takes down a creep tumor. Nice. Preventing that creep spread this early is really good. And he's like, oh, okay. Reynor says, I'm going to send more lings in this time because I feel like we're going to get some traction here. And by golly, he does. He easily kills a couple Marines. He's, you know, getting into the mineral line a little bit. Mules have to get pulled off to deal with this. The SCVs have to fight, and they do fight pretty well. Oh, they take down a supply depot there. Big push of Hellions, but they're YOLO Hellion it, man. There's enough lings here with a Raven. Interesting. Raven spotting, allowing you to kill creep tumors without scans. I love that. No, Reaper. Reaper, no. Reaper, no. Get out of there. Ah, he dead. He dead. These lings get cleaned up too. 5 SCVs go down. How many drones have died? 0. What? 0? Ah, it's amazing. All right. Well, Reynor's getting some work done, I guess. He's killed 5 SCVs today. Sure. He's got a 4th base coming up over here on this high ground. He's working on 1-1 upgrades, which usually indicates Ultralisks in the future here, but, you know, he's not required to go for that stuff. It could be Lurkers, which he really does like making against Terran these days, or it could be Broodlords. Who knows? Broodlings benefit from these 1-1 upgrades here, too. They're little melee units that are shot out of the Broodlord. The Broodlord has its own attack, which is air, so it benefits from air attack and air armor and melee attack and melee armor, which is kind of a weird thing for a unit to benefit from, right? Right. Bathing Nest on the way. A little bit of some attempted Raven harass. Gets a couple drone kills. All right. 4 kills on that Raven is nothing to shake a stick at. 4 creep tumors have died too. Not a huge number in the first 6 minutes here, but it's better than 0. And Clem doing the traditional Hellion Marine opening stuff here, which Zerg players have a million hours of experience against. So it's just hard. It is really hard to really catch a Zerg player entirely off guard with this kind of an opening. It's just so common from Terrans. That said, this is the time where Zerg players are more vulnerable, is during these attacks now, where they're trying to get a 4th base up, they're trying to saturate it, but also they need army to defend against the attack that's coming at the 7-minute mark. So this is what I'm talking about. However, there are no Widow Mines with this army. There's ones in production, and there are some Widow Mines out. Oh, never mind, there's no Widow Mines here now. But it's usually with tanks this gets really difficult for the Zerg player. So Overlord going to go down because we don't have Overlord speed yet. Working on it. Not in time to save that guy, though. Creep spread pushing hard. Coming up this right side. Happy Sunday, by the way. This is going to be a Sunday cast. Hit that like button if you haven't already. And the Marines. Widow Mine connects on a queen, but you know what? Transfuse instantaneous. There from Reynor. Armory on the way, just probably for further upgrades and maybe for Widow Mine upgrades to stay cloaked when they're burrowed no matter what's happening with them. Going to unload in the main base, but a billion lings show up. And those billion lings have 1-1 upgrades, and you have no upgrades at all except for stim. So yes, the lings are going to win that battle without question. So the 7-minute mark, we're still in the bit of a scary time here. That said, Reynor has a lot of queens and Zerglings with good upgrades, so it's going to be hard for Clem to get too much damage here in the first stage of the game. Like I said, I don't know if I said this earlier, but this is a Wardy match, which is why I haven't cast it yet. But check Wardy out. He's on YouTube. He's on Twitch. Just search Wardy StarCraft. You'll find all of his places. And just let him know thanks for supplying me with replays every once in a while, too. I can cast to put on my channel. It's nice. Just give a shout out to Wardy. Great guy, smart guy. He's been putting together his own professional StarCraft 2 tournaments for some time. He's very good at it and very knowledgeable and gets to cast at the professional level for like ESL stuff too, so we'd all like to be Wardy one day, wouldn't we? Alright, so again, Clem's just not getting much done here. We've passed the scary time. We're coming into 9 minutes, which is where suddenly it gets a lot scarier for the Terran player because he starts getting lurkers out. Yeah, like Infestors and Ultras and stuff. And yeah, this group, no. Widow Mines are getting some decent hits here and there. Hellbats are like, what up? And then these Hydras are like, we outrange you by about 8. Okay, it's not by that much, but it's a lot. And it's enough to make the Hellbats pull back. If the Hydras aren't microed at all, actually Hellbats do a lot of damage versus them because they do bonus versus light, but Hellions can outrange them in the hands of somebody who can micro like Reynor, so you gotta back on out. More auto turret-y stuff. Ends up getting, okay. Well, auto turrets scatteredly firing here. The Raven goes down to a Spore, which is a little embarrassing. But Hellbat and Marine Widow Mine here. Widow Mine's connecting on nothing there. Hellbat's dead, Hellbat's dead. Yeah, they can't really run from this, so they're all going to die. Marines with Stim are better at running. Nice target firing on those Banelings, though. Absolutely sick. Great engagement up here on the top of this ramp. But again, Reynor is able to hold it off. Takes a big Widow Mine shot to the center mass of his Hydras. but a nice transfuse heals them up from that damage instantaneously. Reynor is just, he's expanding like a madman. I mean, Clem's got this 6 o'clock base as well, so he's very much keeping up. Clem is one of those players whose macro is just off the charts good. I love a good Clem macro game. That's why I like casting him so much. He's just, he can be out here harassing in 87 places at the same time, like Widowmine connections here, 10 drones down, and be expanding, and be making million SCVs at the same time, and have an income advantage sometimes against somebody like Reynor, who's also doing some incredibly strong stuff. So at this stage, I think Reynor's ahead, but we have a lot of StarCraft to go here. Clem can start making a comeback, especially as he's going for Ghost Academy, getting them ghosts. Officially, 10-11 minutes is late game anymore in StarCraft 2, which I really enjoy. I mean, I do kind of miss the days when the first 10 minutes of the game was fairly slow. But you know what? Getting faster is good, I think. Getting these games moving along at a faster speed and earlier, I think, is definitely fine with me. Lurker Den on the way. Viper's in production here, too. Reynor knows the ingredients with which to beat somebody like Clem. Clem knows the ingredients to beat Reynor. Those Widow Mines, those Ghosts. Marines, Marauders, Medevacs. Maybe some Liberators in the mix here, too. Do we have any of those today? No. 1 Siege Tank, 40 Marines, 9 Marauders, and 7 Widow Mines. And the problem here for Clem more than anything else is that he's just unable to win any of these engagements. Every single time there is an engagement like this, he has to pick up and retreat, or he just has to take retreat along the low ground. One of those two things. What the heck are you guys doing? You're just no chance. Baiting into a Widow Mine, I guess? Yeah, so Zergling eats... Oh, a couple Banelings go down there, too. That's not great. Overlord's trying to scout out. They see what's what. But Adrenal Glands is on the way. Adaptive Talents is coming in. Gonna have to start dealing with the Lurkers, which is not very fun for Terran. And again, another surround, another pickup. Another retreat here for Clem. Not looking good for the young Frenchman, Clem. Drop coming up along this left side while there's an attack happening down the right side. Parasitic Bomb tossed down on the Medevacs. Oh, the Medevacs die. That hurts a lot. That is 9 Medevacs that have died today, but beautiful drop in the top left. They're going to try to focus down this hatchery, but I don't think they can get it with their +2 attack. Because the response here from Reynor is just too good. He just got army in different places. Here comes the snipe! Snipe, snipe, snipe. Beautiful snipes against these queens. That's what you like to see. Drilling Claws coming in here from Clem now. Adaptive Talents is almost done, and that changes the math with these Lings. Adrenal 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so now getting surrounded by Zerglings is a lot scarier if you're a Marauder. We've seen plenty of games in the last 12 months where Zerg players forgotten about Adrenal, and then Marauders just survive, getting surrounded by Lings way longer than they possibly should. And that's because the attack speed increase of 30-35% that Lings get with Adrenal is all the difference between being able to kill Marines and Marauders quickly and not being able to do that. So it's going to be Hydroling Bane. Do we actually have any Lurkers out today? No. See, oh, there we go. He just started morphing in 9 Lurkers right there on the screen. Widowmine's not doing great. Oh, abducting a Medevac, and the Medevac's alive. That Medevac thanks her lucky stars. That Medevac pilot's like, yo, I should be dead. You get abducted in a battle like this by a Viper, you die. And did not die that time, and just going to be very, very happy about that. So decides to go drop in the main base, where for sure you're going to get out of here alive. Good, killing a bunch of drones. Maybe focusing the infestation pit would be cool. You know, but nope, not going to do that. Oh, now we are. Excellent. So there we go. A little bit of focusing action. Also trying to do 2 things at once. Once the Lurkers show up, you get out of there, except for that one Marine who gets murderized. And like I said, Lings with the Adrenal getting that surround much, much strong. The infestation pit does die. The Medevacs are still alive. There's literally a Marauder and a Marine in here. So we're going to unload and then die to these Lings. No, we're going to pick them up. We're going to save them. Another unload in the top left. There's Lurkers defending the base this time. But the hatchery goes down anyway because they're not in a position to save it from attacks from the south. Ooh, this is turning into an excellent CVT. These two players really know each other well. They are everywhere. Multi-pronged attacks, multi-pronged defenses, trying to snipe some of those Lurkers out of the ground. Hard to do when you're just ghosts because you're outranged by the Lurker spines when they have the seismic spines upgrade. Abduct, 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 abduct. All the ghosts are dying when they get abducted. That's what I'm talking about. Abduct is usually a complete death sentence, but not every time. 198 to 196 supply. Widow Mines around, not really getting a lot done, but they're fairly new to the crew. Reynor decides to come along down this bottom side. He catches a small group of defense here. Widowmine Ghost is ready to try to handle this, but I don't know if it's enough. Widowmine gets some nice connections on the Banelings. Deserves to take down this planetary is the larger question. And the answer seems to be no, especially with lurkers getting sniped out of the ground there. Several in quick succession. Another attack coming up this left side. This top left base is not going to survive. Dead. That is a killed base under construction. That is not a cancel. Spore down 2. Clem doing some good work. Doing some excellent work. Trying to win this game. And he's doing what needs to be done. He needs to defend excellently, and he's doing that. And he needs to kill hatches excellently. And Widowmine's getting huge connections on a giant number of lings there is also excellent. That said, in direct engagements, Clem has not been able to win any of these today. He's been forced to pick up and retreat every time there's been a main engagement between his main force and Reynor's main force. Reynor double expanding top left and right side here at the 3 o'clock position. This can turn into a pretty important base if this game goes long enough that we start seeing bases mined out, which we're doing. The question is, how long is this game? Ghost absorbs a few Banelings. This is great because, oh, nice Widow Mine hit there. Which one of you got that hit? Was this only 3? That seems like a lie. Lurkers doing random lurker harass as they like to do at this stage of the game. Just kind of 2, 1. Not any one location in particular. Just kind of light harassing individual bases. I don't know if I'm a huge fan of it. It doesn't seem to ever accomplish a whole lot, and it should. Is how I feel about that. So top left. Hatch dies again. Is he trying to man, gosh, I think he replanted and lost it again. He's gonna lose it again here. Nope, there's lurkers. It's fine. It's fine. Lurkers in much better positions to defend the base this time around. Coming down the left side. Ugh, nice hit. And once again, the Zerg army shows up, and we need to get out of here. And by we, I mean humanity. Widow Mine connection doesn't end up doing a whole lot there. Ghosts keep dying. We hear their death sounds. And 12 ghosts have died. 14 lurkers have died. That seems pretty balanced in all things. Top left base dies again. So, I mean, this has been pretty effective. By I mean, it's dead. It's not dead. Just kidding. Reynor responds and saves it again. Huh. Attack down the right side. Reynor says, let's see what's down here. Ha 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 ha. And Adrenal Lings, man, with Lurker Baneling support, Planetaries cannot hold against this. Dead Planetary. Left side attack coming in here, too. Not much to stop this initially, but raising the supply depot walls is great. And then Lings have to get out of there because it's a pretty nice balanced army coming to respond. This group's like, well, we didn't die, so let's take down this Planetary. Maybe Orbital's going down here, too. 30 SCVs have died. This group really wants to take down this hatchery, but it's responded to too strongly. Scan! What is happening? That lurker should not have 2 kills. That's ridiculous. And yeah, like I said, little lurker harass. Little bits of lurker harass, Zergling harass. They take down supply depots so quickly when they have the 3 upgrades and the Adrenal. They are cracklings indeed. Widow Mine connecting. Okay, on some Banelings that are morphing in. There's another orbital. Looks like it might go down here to Hydra Ling style attacks. These two play the best ZVTs right now. They are just non-stop. They have all the energy of the youth these days. Okay, so top left base. I've called this dead about 3 times. It's really dead this time. There you go. So that's 4 hatches down, plus at least 1 canceled without getting a cancel, like killed without being canceled. Medivacs dying to Parasitic Bomb. I mean, this is a clash of the Titans here. We do get a Liberator out to deal with lurkers on the low ground. How many Liberators are there? Just the one. Just the one here. Okay, so Clem's up 188 to 166 supply. Supply block Reynor, which is awesome. You can still make Banelings if you're supply blocked, though, so take that, atheists. Holding. There's a lurker. Wrong place, man. There's 25 lurkers that have died and 20 ghosts. Again, the balance is nice. All right, so resources lost here are 42,000 for Reynor and 29,000 for Clem. Insane discrepancy here. Not good long-term for the Zerg player. Zerg fans know those numbers do not bode well. Flying over a Spore Crawler with your many medevacs. Many medevacs have died today. 13 have died today, but there's 13 left. Liberator pretty good against lurkers. Widowmine's pretty good against drones, though. God, this is so non-stop. 46 drones have died today, and 45 SCVs, and another hatch dies. Clem is sort of getting into rampage mode here. The thing about Terran is, yeah, you can defend, but once they win an engagement, it can be a little bit more difficult to stop them on their rampage as they continue. Reynor says, I got my own rampage, Falcon, heading on down south with a Lurker Baneling Hydra army. Bunch of Lings down here, too, trying to keep that Ghost alive. And yes, does manage to keep him alive there, but more orbitals taking hits. Oh, does go down. The attack up this way. Can Clem hold on? Yes, just barely, though. He does hold on, but there's not much else he wants to do, and maybe he has to pull back to deal with this small group, too. Both players no bank at 21 minutes. That's how non-stop back and forth this thing has been. Usually somebody will have a huge bank at the 20-minute mark, but they've both been so damaging to each other. I mean, Reynor's got 300 minerals. Clem has 300 minerals. No gas for anybody. I guess Clem has 700 gas, but maybe need to slow down a little bit. Remaxing is going to be extremely hard. Production tab for Reynor is a 1 lurker right now and 14 lings. Top left, 2 drones go down to the burrowed Widowmine here. Hydra's trying to snipe down that orbital. Can't quite pull it off there, but it has to be repaired, which does take resources from Clem. And once again, this little tiny lurker harass that can stop mining at a base if it's placed well. Clem coming up that right side. Can he take this hatch down before the army responds? No. He very smartly kind of hangs up. Medevacs, you are right in the way of this engagement, y'all. So a million lurkers show up. Parasitic bomb's a problem, too. He's sniping a bunch of those lurkers, abducting the ghosts, though. The back and forth here is insanely good. The skill on display here. And that's it. Good game. Reynor taps out, and Clem is victorious. Reynor has 120 supply and 40 minerals. And he's like, yeah, that's probably enough. There's no way I'm going to win this game. Wow. But yeah, look at that resources lost here. 54,000 to 39,000 discrepancy is sick. That is a disgustingly huge discrepancy in favor of the Terran. And yeah, if you go 5 hatcheries and 58 drones, 39 lurkers, 24 hiders, almost 700 zerglings, yeah. In 20 minutes, that's a lot of dead hatches and a lot of dead stuff. Clem on the other side ends up losing 75 Widowmines, which is a lot. 35 ghosts, which 35 and 39. The lurker and ghost symmetry here is interesting. 133 marines. Only 1 planetary dies, and a couple orbitals die too there, but those are mostly not necessary for him to win the game, obviously, because he won the game. Yeah, Clem is not maxed out. He doesn't have any kind of a bank at all for minerals, but he's just able to make good enough trades. Widowmines connecting, snipes on the lurkers, the marines and marauders defending armies that come in and try to deal with those units. It's a beautiful thing. Also, losing that many medevacs, 17 medevacs down in 20 minutes is a lot of dead medevacs, but he's got 11. He's fine. At the end of the game here, he's doing great on medevac count. I don't feel like he needs any more than that. See, look at this. These final moments here. He's trying to snipe the lurkers without taking the snipes himself or the spines himself, and that's it. So absolutely kick butt ZVT between these two players, and Reynor defend. He looks really good for the first 15 minutes. And then Clem starts winning a couple engagements here and there, starts sniping bases out, starts getting Reynor to bleed just a little bit here and there. And yeah, I mean, so I don't usually talk about this much, but the size of a replay usually indicates how long it is. This is an 800 kilobyte replay. And what that usually means is it's at least 35, 40 minutes long, and this is 22 minutes, and that's because there's so much stuff happening in this replay that it takes up a ton of space, and that's how you know it's action-packed. The bigger the replay versus how short it is means action-packed, and that's what this is. There was not a dull moment in this game, and that's what I love about these two. There are no times to sit back and take your breath. They're trying to kill each other the entire time. I mean, Reynor probably would have been happy to sit back and macro, but Clem was like, no, you're not doing that at all. But beautiful, beautiful engagement of two tyrants, giants here today. Ah, very, very good. All right, good stuff. So that right there is going to be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching. You take care of yourself.